Welcome to Light Language number 25. Today we enter the liminal space, that powerful in between where activation is unfolding and new identity is forming. If you've been feeling spiritually untethered, you're in the right place. Let's walk this corridor together. So we are here, yes, and let's walk all together. We are here for a beautiful continuing conversation about light language. We've been doing this for 25 times,
25 years.
20 feels like 25 years. 25 years. And so we are, we have Starseed Awakening 1111. We have JJ from Tuta Speaks. We have TarotStache. Hello. All of us are available for private readings. Contact information is below. There you go. This is please like and subscribe to all of our channels. By the way, what's wonderful is how many choices of where to spend our time on YouTube. We appreciate you spending some time with us today. Mm-hmm. We also appreciate you leaving a comment if you're watching the playback. I know several people who are watching the playback. Hello, I'm not naming names, Amber and Deidre. I'm not doing that at all. And this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. So, we do have some of the amazing chatters here. So, thank you, everybody. Angie, this one, Starseed Awakening. Has anybody ever heard of this person? This is a new person.
Weird.
Crazy.
Weird.
Is
weird.
So, the other thing is, well, JJ, when we were backstage, JJ says, "How do you feel about all the energy today?" JJ,
it makes me feel very liminal.
All right, well, we're just going to jump right into this, kids. Hibiscus Healings has joined us. This, again, is a conversation. This really came up from, maybe it was 2 shows ago where we were first started talking about activation.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
And how what happens is we have this activation, and activation is the spark. Isolation is that corridor, and integration is the arrival. So we're moving from one thing to another. And so activation through light language or expanded awareness can shift our inner identity really quickly. It can be very, very shocking. The liminal space is that middle ground where the old structures fall away and the new meaning has not yet been settled. And that's a really interesting thing. JJ, do you want to say anything about that?
Yes, I have a lot of things to say. Because the liminal, like that corridor in between, so a lot of times, like for instance, today, to answer your question, the energy that I'm feeling today is, I know there's something I need to do, and I know it's going to be something that's easy to do, but I don't want to do it. And that happens a lot because of like who I am, and I have ADD, so that happens a lot. But today it is like magnified by 25 years. And yeah, so today is a lot of, I'm like walking around the thing I need to do. I'm giving it the stink eye. But the liminal, we didn't know what that word meant. So Gerald told us it's like the in-between. And just think about like a caterpillar. When the caterpillar is in between, that's messy.
It's very messy.
Yeah.
It's very messy. I do want to say hello to Wayne Rich. Hello, Wayne. And Ms. Lady.
Hi, Miss Lady.
And yeah, it's an interesting thing because this is one of those things I'm personally going through activation, and I am very much in that liminal space. So I did see Angie said, "Yep, that's true. That liminal space." Beth Aspasia has arrived, and so.
I will say it's nice to know that there's that in between, because once you know that there's like an in between of like, how come like let's say if it's your light language, maybe you're not using it as much. However, your light language is, whether it's art or music or movement or spoken or sign language or symbols, it's like whatever it is, it's like there's a lull. And it's just like almost like when you have like the lighter and you're just like, how come it's not working? And it's like,
yes,
you might find yourself in the in between, and knowing that really helps, because from my experience, whenever I'm in the in between, it means like something pretty awesome is on its way, and this is my resting time.
I would definitely agree. And for some of us that are not patient, it makes it really hard and stressful, because I don't ever think I go to that space where, oh my gosh, I've lost it. But I have to remind myself to be gentle with myself and know that it's going to be all right. So.
That's really important. Many of us are not patient. I'm happy to have patience, but I want it yesterday.
Yeah.
And we have, isn't the full moon in Gemini tomorrow?
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, the Gemini is a duality energy, can feel in between too. Absolutely. So I think one of the things I want to remind everybody is remember to ground, breathe, hydration, contact with nature, to help that integration to integrate that energy shifts. Where, I mean, this is a foundational thing. Do not forget it. And I will keep saying this to everybody. Anybody who will listen, you will hear it from me.
Yeah.
And so I have some topics put up. So it's just this activation and the liminal corridor. It's like, how do you personally define the liminal space? What does it feel like, or when the old structure falls away? And I think for me, thinking of the liminal space as a corridor is helpful. It's a corridor in between the identities and the structure and the skills that I have, or the group that I belong to. So the other thing about that, I'm answering the question first, by the way. Please note this.
Please.
Today is Wednesday, December 3rd of 2025. This is the first time Gerald's answering first, because mark it in the calendar. But the other thing, from activation on the liminal corridor, it has a lot of feelings to it. It's uncertain.
Having some issues there, JJ?
Are you okay, JJ?
Yes.
Here. Does this help? What are you doing, JJ? What you doing?
My microphone is like the worst. The stand is just like falling over.
But see, here's something really interesting: is that liminal space there's a lot of uncertainty that's there because the old way of doing things isn't there anymore. The old group isn't there, but there's a lot of possibility. What's coming? What could there be? I find it very helpful. There was humor there. I think humor is one of the things that can assist us in the liminal corridor, in that space in between.
Do you want to go further with that, Gerald? Like what, like personally, what are you going through with the in between? Are you going from one group to another? Like
So it's great going first.
inquiring minds want to know.
Inquire. Do people really want to know? I mean,
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Yes,
So.
they do.
Well, okay. So here we'll be vulnerable. I've actually resigned from the coven that I was a member of for 12 years. I did that about 4 months ago. So what structure was there isn't there anymore. And I'm trying to find my footing in what it means for me and how I do my own work. And so it's a drive it's an internal drive rather than an external, we have a group, we have a meeting about this coming up. So
with you going, and you can say, I'm not answering that. Feel free to say it's none of your business. But with you going through that, are you finding, I would imagine that there might be a little loss going through that as well. But
absolutely. Yeah.
But is there this kind of, they show me patting on the back going, you're doing this by yourself on your own 2 feet. And, are you feeling that way?
I'm feeling all sorts of ways, to be honest with you. And that is one of the things with that anytime change happens, something old ends and something new doesn't feel natural. So there's some sadness, there's some relief, there's some joy, there's curiosity, there's stress. And so it's like it's a variety of things. And so there is a sense of loss with that. And I'm also spending a lot of time anytime change happens. I do try to work hard at remembering the positive things.
Yeah.
So Kim Princess is here. Ms. Lady said, your new norm, relying on yourself. Yeah. Bernadette has joined us, and Wayne says, I believe it, Gerald. 12 years is a long time. It is.
Yeah.
It is. So, did I answer your question?
Yes.
You answered mine. Thank you for being.
Isn't it great going first?
It is. It is. It really is.
I saw that.
That's something in my eye. The other thing is that you think about this in the terms of activation, and activation, light language, spirituality. We have the epiphanies. Somebody was talking about the epiphanies last time. What's happening for me is in this liminal space, suddenly some of my inner sensitivities are really heightened.
Yeah.
Things that didn't bother me or things that I missed, I now notice, and I notice them in a different way. So, yes, thank you, Miss Lady. She got it.
When people talk about like these unwritten contracts that we have with people, and I know like you deal with the Akashic records, so this is not that. This is more of like these unwritten contracts that we have with like, almost like with your coven or with me. It can be like with friends. It can be with this or that, like who you're going to be with your partner. And when you're uncomfortable and you're noticing it and you go to make that big change, it takes a little while for the contracts to dissolve, and then kind of feel like the feelers are out, like what's my next thing, not meaning that contracts are bad. It's just like, I'm going to, personally commit to this thing for however long. And it's really nice to think about it from this side of it, because whenever I thought about the unwritten contracts between partners, friends, businesses, or whatever, I'm always like, they'll start calling or like have disagreements with you. And, and I never thought about like what my side of it was. And that's really interesting to think about.
Mm-hmm. I also think it's an important thing. We could think about the liminal corridor is we've ordered that item online and we're waiting for it to show up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we all want Prime. We want the 2-day overnight.
Overnight it.
Yeah. Well, but see, here's the thing. It gets delivered, then we have to open it, unpack it. We have to unbox it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that is an important aspect of things to consider. The one thing I want to say is before JJ and Karen shares, because they're not getting out of this. This is this liminal space, this liminal corridor, because the idea, I think I said it too. I said activation is the spark, isolation is the corridor, and integration is the arrival. Mm-hmm. This is natural. This is what normally happens at some level. Every change is different for every person.
Mm-hmm.
So, Leah has.
I kind of feel like that's challenging for family members because it is different from each perspective. And like when you do step out of something, or even family or friends or whoever, it's like, yeah, it's a really challenging time. Like, well, I wouldn't have done it that way, but it's like, oh, that's okay. It's like, I'm the one who made the choice, not you. So,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it is one of those things that part of this experience is this change. It is a sign of activation. It's a sign of growth. When we can feel isolated, this idea of feeling spiritually isolated or untethered, it's a sign of growth, because you're not what used to happen isn't fulfilling anymore.
Yeah.
And it needs to change.
Yeah.
So we have, by the way, Leah has joined us, Gray, and I was teasing Gray earlier today, saying that this looked like Gray queso, but then everyone was hungry. So my apologies. And oh, here you go. And Michelle Marie, Astrological Tarot, is here. I'm their cowbell. So what does liminal mean?
Thank you, Bernadette. Karen and I also had to ask.
I was going to Google it.
Liminal, according to Merriam-Webster, is of, relating to, or situated at a sensory threshold, barely perceptible or capable of eliciting a response. Of, relating to, or being an intermediate state, phase, or condition. It is a transition.
Transition time.
Yes.
We're hanging out at the train station waiting for the next train.
Well, are we hanging out at the train station, or are we waiting for the train, which will take us through the liminal space?
Ooh.
good question.
Wow.
Nalani is here. Jane the Secret Tarot is here. So I hope that helps. The amazing medium Betsy Palmer is here. Aloha, everyone. I'm intrigued with this topic. Glad to be able to catch it live. Me too. I'm glad you're here. And so, spiritually untethered, somebody actually said a couple of shows ago that they were feeling spiritually homeless. And the spiritually untethered, it's just like, I don't have a place to be solid in so that I can actually, my balloon would actually move and flow. And so, yeah, transitions are painful. So is change. And hibernating is an actual acceptable way to do it, so long as you are not doing it too long.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yes, I know. So what about you two and the liminal space?
Karen's definitely in that corridor, personally.
Yeah, I would like to call it, instead of activation, this is just for me personally, activation and the 4x4 liminal corridor, because I am the type of person that gets so caught up in all the things that I'm doing that I don't really pay attention to it. So I have noticed throughout my life, I get handed a 4x4 and just smacked with it. And so it is something that will take me down, and it will take me down for a while, which is, recently it was this car wreck. And, it really, it makes me stay still for a while. And it has always worked that way. I mean, JJ's known me for a few years, and when I get hit, I don't have the little tiny things. I mean, they're doozies. And I think it's because I am that type of person that just is so, doing my work, doing this, doing that, that it has to knock me on my butt so that I will actually pay attention. And yeah, you go through that kind of, what the heck is going on? Why did this happen? Blah, you go through all the, I call it the stages of grief kind of thing.
Well, yeah, that's very appropriate.
And then it really, now currently with this particular situation I am in, I am now to the point where, I can't wait to see what's going to happen, because not only am I seeing things, not only am I getting new guides, and they're truly, I've always seen them in the background. They've always been, it's not like they just, they're there. They've always been in the background, and they've always told me I'm for later. And now that later is here. But getting used to this new brain, I guess I could say, that I have because of the accident, things are much quieter, instead of getting depressed. We talked about this. I've been getting into different things that I could use my hands with, and doing, painting and anything. I mean, at this point, and we talked about this, I think the last time, where, when you have a thought of doing something, you just need to jump on it. Don't stress, don't micromanage on how you're going to start it. Just write it down, and lately it's been, I've decided I'm going to put some words on paper and write a book, and whatever happens, happens. And Gerald's like, it's about time. Didn't I say that?
I didn't say that out loud.
Yeah. But I think, I think for me, it's coming to grips with the reality that I'm in.
Yes.
Seeing if there's any takeaways from that, or any learning experiences, and then being open for anything that comes. And that's just the way that I deal with it. I don't second guess it. It's like, whatever happens, happens, and I'm not going to second guess it as, did I really hear that? Did I really see that? No, I heard it. I saw it. Bam. And be grateful for it.
I would say you are a different person.
Yeah.
In the sense of, because many of us will hear something, then we will still flip back to the old way of doing it. Oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. And some people would flip immediately to the, all right, that's the new way we're doing it.
Mhm.
And both of them are fine.
Yeah, they are.
JJ, before you go, I'd like to get caught up in chat,
Okay.
if I may.
I'm like, am I going somewhere?
Yeah.
Are you kicking me out?
Yeah. Yes, JJ, I'm kicking you out by putting you on the spotlight. Okay. And Hypnicity says, I've been feeling untethered. Is that freedom?
Free to be untethered. Huh.
Freedom is what? Another word for nothing left to lose? Jane, the Secret Tarot, would be able to tell me who did that. Jane shared, Spirit put me to bed on 8/8 for 2 months. She also said, I think many of us are being called to rest.
Yeah. I did get the visual when you guys were talking about getting this really comfortable space for you to like put pillows around, like really nice, soft, cozy things, and just be like a cat or a dog and like just cuddle down.
Okay, it was Chris Christopherson, sung by Janis Joplin. So, and then, okay, then we have from Michelle Marie, liminal language equals subtle voice of intuition, the space where tarot symbols speak before the mind interprets. It's the whisper between worlds that reveals truth, guidance, and deep meaning beyond logic.
She's hired. She's our PR person.
There you go.
Actually, she could probably do that.
Yeah.
Leah has joined us. We have a request from Bernadette. Said, would this topic apply to Dark Night of the Soul and spiritual awakening? I woke up a completely different person. Gerald, please do lives on this. LOL. I had to YouTube and Google what was happening to me. Well,
that's why I like this. And our YouTube community has grown since, the whole world took a break. And yeah, it's so nice to have these conversations and hear different people's stories and conversations.
Yeah. And okay. And Ms. Lady said, I've been around you for a few years, Karen. I've seen you hibernate, but when you're back, you're back. And I would say, sometimes people think that they're crazy because of it. I don't think they're necessarily crazy. I mean, some of you may be crazy. I mean, and you know it, and we know it too. But sometimes that it's that feeling of, that's the untetheredness. It's like nothing's working anymore. I don't know how to put my pants on anymore. So there's this
and the people, in some instances, the people that you connected with aren't vibing on the same vibe as you anymore.
That's exactly right.
I think that's the hardest part. In fact, for those of you that don't know, that is how JJ and I got to be friends. Who else there was no one in my life that I knew that knew anything about light language. Yeah. Who else could I sit there and confide in and say that I speak a different language and people look at me like I was crazy? And it was Debbie from Freebird Spirit. That's one of my friends that I reached out to. And she's like, oh, my friend does that. And that is how we connected. And that opened so many new doors. So for me, it was getting past that fear of telling somebody I not just, I didn't go out and tell anybody, but a really trusted person that, hey, I'm going through this, for the door that opened me to bring JJ into my life. And, it's been such a blessing. But that's the hardest thing, is holding this thing in and not being able to talk to the people that you were friends with or that you are
Yes.
friends with. It's an odd place to be.
Yes.
Yes.
JJ, before I go off on my tangent, what are your thoughts on activation and the liminal corridor?
Well, this one it's personal for everybody. This one's very personal. I'm still kind of healing from the thought of it. And this just, what was it, a couple of months ago? So my language came all at once. You know, I've been practicing with it and developing it for 10 years, but there were this community of spirit, my spirit team, Tuta, the teachers that were helping me. And it was always like, you know, people would be like, okay, well, what does Tuta say? You know, and that's just my way of being like, okay, well, what does spirit say? And I was in Sedona this year, and at a retreat, I was actually in Debbie Freebird Spirit's class during the retreat. And I got the message that I needed to declutter and make room for something new. And of course, Debbie understood right away what was happening. And
Yes.
it took me a couple of hours. And then I was like, oh my God, are these my guides? Are my guides leaving me? And they did. Tuta stepped out so the new thing could come in. And I had to think of it as a graduation because it was heartbreaking for me. So I really understand the pain of it.
And are you still in the corridor?
You know, talking about being like impatient and my spiritual journey, as a lot of people, it started with Reiki, opening up that, and then practicing different things, and then my light language burst onto the scene. So it was like this big thing that I couldn't ignore, you know, and it was really fun to talk and like record and then listen. And so this new thing's coming in softer than that, but more potent. And so I'm just kind of twiddling my thumbs and waiting. So it's just, I can see through like that membrane of the corridor, like I can see sort of. And and I notice that things are clearer and sharper, just like what you said the other day, clearer and sharper. And the telepathic game is like for real. Like, yeah, it's always been there with my kids, but like with other people now, I'm like thinking of something and the other person will say it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's so many good comments in the chat. Let me capture some of them.
Yeah.
Selena has arrived, by the way, and and Chris Christopherson sang it first. Janice asked him for it. They were lovers. It was released posthumously. So there you go. And many of us going through spiritual growth spurts.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a really interesting thing when we have a perspective of as, oh, you're in a growth spurt. Oh, you have a growth spurt. You have a growth spurt. You have a growth spurt. And instead of going, what's wrong with you? You're not like you used to be.
Yeah.
Those are the things that make it hard for us. Those are the things when it tells us who we want to hold close and who we want, who will support us.
Mm-hmm.
And Michelle Marie worked for PR for Google.
Sometimes that's how like my silly gift comes through, because as soon as I said PR, I'm like, I wonder if she did that. You know, so yeah, I'll just
Leah asked, doesn't Debbie understand Tuta?
Debbie understood it word for word. And then I began to understand it as well. Yeah, she was the first one.
Mm-hmm. Kim Princess shared, interesting point. I had to let go of someone who wasn't vibing with me anymore. And not only that, I realized shouldn't have been in my life anyway.
Mm.
I have grown and they unwilling to be self-aware. There's a lot of things that shift when you go through these different changes.
Mhm.
You know, and I want to add a caption here in the aspect of it is great when you can realize that yourself. But I also would say, um, you know, and I don't know why I'm saying this, but they're telling me to say it, is be careful of people who tell you not to be around certain people or certain things. What is their motivation behind that? And I'll just share a story of to why I'm saying that is because I had a really good friend for years, and we were both on our spiritual journey. And when my light language came in, and I was living in Massachusetts, she would come out and visit me and stuff like that. She does no longer talk to me because her spiritual person who guides her says things like Reiki's bad and what is it? And aliens are bad and it's evil demonic spirits. And it really kind of threw me for a loop because anybody that truly knows me knows that I won't even watch scary movies because that's just not, I don't get into anything evil or demonic. So I would say be careful for those people that are trying to push you out of the path that, or push you away from people, Does that make sense?
It
You know?
totally does. It totally does. JJ, what do you need to say about that?
It's just, as you're speaking, I'm just thinking about, things in my life like that too. And sometimes it's not people saying that, it's like my own brain saying that to myself,
Mhm.
and but I'm thinking about like my family while this is happening, because like it does scare some people. Like it's
Mhm.
very unfamiliar to my mom, and to my dad when he was alive. It was like, even when I go to talk about something amazing, or like I went to Sedona and Tuta stepped away and how important that was to me, it's like it's hard to not share that with the people you love, because they're like, I just know my mom puts up an instant barrier to all spirit stuff because she chose not to. She gets freaked out from her own stuff with the spirits, and so yeah, in this lifetime, it's just not gonna be something that she does.
Mm-mm.
The best chatters are certainly bringing it. Betsy has shared the liminal space for me is stillness in the gray area. At my age, I know my success rate for surviving upgrades and big changes is 100%. So I'm more comfortable in that space now.
Yeah,
Well said.
Nice.
well said.
Well said. Yes. Yes. And I think this, Bernadette has dealt with that too. It's even more challenging with mental health issues.
Mhm.
Yes. And Kat Nana is here. So Plucky
I
is,
got goosebumps, Bernadette, from that. It's like still affecting me, like your words and the energy behind it. Because it's like the thing that I instantly thought of is like, so, we change, we grow, and it's like the mental health stuff. I don't know about like for anybody else, but for me, it like that moves around as well. It's not just like my mental like diagnosis like stays right where it was. It's just like that changes too. And so now you have like all of these things changing in your life, and that's when it really helps to do what Gerald suggested, which was to be grounded and drink water and be patient with yourself.
oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Be kind, rewind. Oh, don't, don't forget to hit the like button. I think that's really important. I also want to say, we're talking about light language, and so if say hello in chat, and if you want to share, let's do this. If you want to share, type one word in the chat that captures how the liminal space feels for you. I would love to see that. Would love to see that. So Nicholas is here. Okay.
I'm gonna go. My one word would be either heavy or mucky.
Thank you.
Swampy.
Oh, Bernadette wants to know. The liminal space is just the in between.
It's the in between. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you say swampy, Karen?
Swampy.
Okay.
It's muggy. It feels like a swamp to me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really move. It's just stagnant.
Yes. We have let's see. Beth said it makes me curious, more than one word, but we'll take curious. That works.
Yeah, cold. Mm-hmm.
Kim Princess said strange. We have goosebumps. We have glorious. Ethereal.
Yeah.
Anxious. Floaty. These are great words.
These are great.
Confusing.
Maple syrup.
Cold. Yeah. Maple syrup.
I have to say, okay, so from being from Vermont and maple syrup, it's that, how brilliant this is, because it comes out of the tree. You tap the tree and like the tree juice comes out, the tree sauce, and it's like then you have to boil it down and really take your time to like make it grade A or whatever grade it's gonna be. And it's like maple syrup is perfect.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's so liminal.
Well, and it's also perfect because it starts out at one thing and changes into something so sweet and really good.
Yeah.
We have sometimes the best thing is to relax, because struggling makes us weak and tired.
Oh, I do love a good struggle. I really do.
I don't. So if I were to capture how the liminal space feels for me, this isn't a feeling, but it's an expression. It's fuck.
Right in between the F and the K.
Just that it's the eye roll, and it's just like good. And because sometimes that's one of my expressions for all of these beautiful descriptions everybody's giving. Part of it for me is like going, I'm doing this again. Okay.
Yeah.
And then once I do that and I take a nap for an hour or 5 hours, depending, it works. We have another word I wanted to share is naked, meaning spiritually exposed into the light. Oh yes, where everything is just all of the barriers are stripped away. Yeah, that's good. So
so many good comments.
Yes. Shall I try on to move on to the next topic?
Was this just question number one?
Yeah.
Question number one. But it does, because we're talking about feeling spiritually untethered.
Yeah.
We have vulnerable. We have, I argue with the voice that says unhelpful thoughts, like don't talk to my friends that way.
Oh.
That way. The idea of if you're talking about, talk to yourself nicely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Viscous, why this works. Liminal states can feel sticky, slow moving, suspended between forms like maple syrup. It's just thick transformation, not light or airy. It honors the intuitive image you received rather than forcing mismatch. If you like, I can also give you a poetic version. Yeah, Michelle Marie is connected in and is enjoying that thing. I think one of the things about this, one of the things that I definitely want to bring up about feeling spiritually untethered is everything that was doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
We've outgrown that phase, or we've moved on.
Graduate.
Yeah, we've graduated.
Mhm.
And sometimes it also means I get really sensitive about things. And there's an uncertainty when I get really sensitive or I'm uncertain. That means I'm trying to find a deeper meaning. It's like, what is going on for you, Gerald? What's up with that? So, and so I like to think of it of being really, it's growth rather than disconnection. I am bound in a pot, and my roots are trying to grow, and this is me being taken out of that pot before I'm put into a new one.
They show me, have you ever been vacuuming or, have an extension or, a cord that you're trying to get out of the wall from 4 feet away and you're just like whipping it and the cord never really comes out, just comes out of the wall just a little bit, and, here you are trying to start the vacuum or trying to start whatever you're working with. It just doesn't work that way. And until you take that time to walk back to the plug and push it back in, you're still connected. You're just not, for me, that's what they gave me is you're not getting the flow that you're usually used to.
So. I hate it when that happens.
Yeah. And Nalani says some modalities don't always work. Some modalities don't always work for us where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
What I have found, and it sometimes I laugh about it. It's like, well, I tried to do it that way 5 years ago and it didn't work. And I do it that way now and it works. It works beautifully. It's like, huh.
Well, for me, I always find it funny when you guys are reading the cards and you're like, oh, it's the 8 of Wands because I cannot do tarot. I have tried to pick up that skill. It does not work for me. But the moment I zone out and just space off, that's when it comes. And so, they literally gave me the picture of if you've ever been to another country, it's a different plug. And here I am trying to plug that different plug into the wall and it's just not working.
Yeah. And
I really want the power and the energy.
Everybody watching knows exactly what we're talking about because I know we are not the only 3 people to have ever done that.
Mm-hmm.
Nalani also says, doesn't mean they're useless. And that's the thing. The other ways, just because it doesn't work for you now doesn't mean it's wrong. It means it's not working for you now. Don't discount it. I'm going to hold space for everybody to do their own thing, and you do your thing, because if all of us are doing our own thing, in our most authentic way, everybody respected that, it would be totally cool. Okay, so we have pay your pose bill, Karen. Your power.
My power bill.
So, Karen, we all learned differently that there are my ways up in the mountains. So Michelle Marie said, I got made fun of for my language. I like sharing, but it led to a lot of pain.
Yep.
I turned into shrink wrap, and it attracted Jonathan, so I'm thankful for him.
Yeah, he's great.
Yes. Yes. So,
If
and
you're
there
talking
are lots
about
of,
the Jonathan I know.
Yeah.
Daly, is that what his name is?
no, she's talking about her husband.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. There are many ways up the mountain.
Yeah.
Betsy said, Karen, I got nowhere with tarot for 20 something years. Maybe 2 months into watching lovely friends on Tarot Tube, I woke up one day and was able to read them.
Now it's become a joke. Now I don't want to learn because I love when they go, "Oh, you've got this card. You know what it means?" I'm like, "No, I don't."
You know what? Spoiler alert, there is Tarot the Stash Way going to be coming in 2026.
Ooh.
What is coming?
Tarot the Stash Way,
Oh.
the online course.
Dun,
Tarot.
dun, dun.
So, anyhow, feeling spiritually untethered. What are your thoughts on that? We've chatted on it. It's been good. Do we need to go to the next one?
Yeah, next one. Next. Flip the page.
JJ's done. Move on to the next one.
I'm so done with that one. Yep.
Integration and new beginnings.
Ooh.
So here's something about integration and new beginnings. Wait a minute. JJ, why don't you go first on this one, or would you like me to help you?
Integration and new belonging. Oh, right. I mean, I had a whole group of spirit guides, like a whole big family. And it's not like the language isn't there anymore or the sass that comes with the language and different personality type things. But like my new belonging is more crystalline, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We can hear you, Karen.
Yeah, I was
Sorry, I forgot to press. I've been trying to do the coughing, forgot the sneezing.
Yeah.
I'm sick, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
The
integration and the new belonging. I actually reached out to some really beautiful people to be like, I need to practice, and so some really beautiful people are like, yeah, I'll practice with you and help you understand this more. So
finding new communities to learn more from. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the idea of integration, it's when that activation or the new flow of energy moves into lived experience. We start to expect it instead of being surprised by it or off-put.
Yeah.
It becomes part of us. And this is also where that new belonging, it really shifts toward resonance rather than conformity. So I belong here instead of I'm supposed to be here. I'm just going to I'm going to wear the same robe and the same high top tennis shoes that everybody else is wearing.
Yeah.
And again, grounding practices help this, gives it an opportunity to happen more quickly.
Yeah, and I felt this earlier in my hallway, but I just felt it again, like my heart is doing the flip-flop. So, and I asked, is it mine or Gerald's or Karen's? Is anybody having any heart issues with the heart feeling like it's like AFib or something?
I think somebody did. I think Bernadette had mentioned something about having some physical responses.
Yeah, actually, that's how my language came out.
So does Leah.
Leah.
Yeah, I ended up I had to go to the ER And then found out because I was having so many emotions and I couldn't stop having these emotions. And I know, like, as like a human being, like, okay, this is a little more than it's supposed to be feeling emotionally. And so, yeah, I had to dig a little deeper, and I reached out to a friend, and they're like, it was from the Trail of Tears, a past life, and that's where you're at. And
Yeah.
yeah, so my language first showed up as
Janet, she started on Sunday for AFib.
Janet, yes, on the AFib.
yeah, AFib.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And,
feel it.
had throat fluttering, like panic
Wow.
attacks.
Yeah. Yeah, my kiddo just had a panic attack, and again, it was one of those things where like they knew it was escalating, and almost like unreasonably escalating, where you can kind of step aside and be like, why am I still going up in the panic? you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it goes to to me it really is like goes to say pay attention to your body, not only what we're seeing and we're feeling, but it's also important to pay attention to your body, because just like you did, JJ, it's a prime example. You're feeling fine and all of a sudden, bam, this happens.
Yeah.
You might know in the moment that this isn't you.
Yeah.
And you took the steps to ask, hey, in your head, is this Karen, is this Gerald, is this me? Okay,
Yeah.
it must be somebody out there.
Yeah.
And that
Something
acknowledgement of knowing that, hey, I just had a shift. What is this?
Yeah.
That's really important. And that is how I think that is how, for me, it works, that I get more of those things when I acknowledge it and go, hey, what is this? And then say, give me more. I heard that.
I love that. The idea of is saying, what is this? Because once you acknowledge it, it starts to settle down and it can become less stressful. I love that, because how often, I'm like going, I want to have enlightenment. La, 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 la. I don't want to see this. La, 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 la. I'm not listening, so,
Yeah.
Betsy
Cool.
said, I just was reconnecting to my dance with a manta ray a few hours ago. My heart was expanding just when you mentioned heart.
Oh.
And to clarify, I danced with a manna this morning on my swim.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's so cool.
And I think, Bernadette, it's important for you to know what things make you uncomfortable, and honor those and pay attention to those. I think that's important. Leah said, so things are stamped onto my brain. 1, no judgment. 2, we create as we go. And 3, go to your heart for safety.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Very nice. Well, the last one has this: growing beyond the original community.
That's what you're doing, Gerald.
Mm-hmm. I think that's huge, because if the energy in the space that you're in does not feel right for you anymore, and Kim said this earlier, it can be very hard to acknowledge that and step away, but going through that, it makes it better. You find growth in that space.
Yeah, I think, sometimes you outgrow spaces. For me, what I am working really hard to do is, all of my experiences were not bad experiences.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spending time on remembering the positive things that I have. And I think that's, does that make sense? The idea is, everything wasn't always bad. I wouldn't have stayed for 12 years. I've got to, I want the opportunity to go, this was really beautiful. Right now it's hard, yet this is really beautiful, and this is really beautiful.
Yeah.
Because those are the things, Karen, where it says, where it goes, give me more of that. Give me more of.
Well, and I think that, and this is just how I handle those situations where I have to step away because it's not right for me anymore, is to acknowledge that sometimes you're the teacher and sometimes you're the student. And maybe you were there to teach them something or to show them something. And I want to go back to what Kim said, where she was like, this person wasn't growing. And maybe she was a teacher in that situation. And luckily she was able to step away and realize, I need to step away because this is affecting me in my personal growth.
Yes, absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kim said exactly. I was the teacher. Yeah. And Nalani shared, I spent time as a homeless drug addict. It made me who I am today. So
I watched Hypnicity. I watched these great little videos. It's called Soft White Belly, Soft White Underbelly. And a lot of it is just really these stories of the homeless drug addicts, and they come in as their like authentic self, and he interviews them, but he does some other stuff too. Like he does like the other side of like a mom will get on there now, and kind of give it from her point of view, like what was going on. And I just really love like, seeing them as they are currently. Yeah. It's great, isn't it, Kim? Love it.
That's cool. Yeah, there you go. Soft white underbelly is fascinating.
Yeah.
Agreed. I watch it too.
You do too? Do you watch the person who also does like the cow hooves?
Yes.
I do.
Rebecca was great.
Oh yes. Everybody's worried about Rebecca. Yeah, Rebecca's. You watch the older ones and then the
Yeah. This should hold true through with all aspects of your life as we all keep growing and evolving. Everyone and everything are not meant for our full destination.
Yep.
There's I believe it's a Tyler Perry movie that talks about sometimes you're the tree. Sometimes, a person steps into your life and sometimes they're meant for a reason and a season and they blow away. And sometimes they're like the twig, and other people are the I can't even think, the tree
thing.
itself. This thing.
The trunk?
Thank you, the trunk. And they're
what?
What? Hey, the word recall is an issue.
Right. You're with a bunch of psychics. We get it.
Exactly. It's like playing Pictionary. No. But yeah, sometimes, people are meant to be there just for a reason and a season. And it's okay to watch them go away and not cry over that.
The other, and what I've learned now that I didn't know years ago was it's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and it's still hard. It's still sad. So it's very confusing. Emotions can be very confusing sometimes, especially as someone who, for many, many years only had 3 emotions. It's hard. It can be very challenging. I think that's something else that's interesting. The feeling spiritually untethered. Part of the untethered feeling is because we do not have the language to express what we are now feeling. We don't.
I was thinking the same. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's like how, like in German, they'll describe something differently that we don't have a word for, and it's like the most beautiful thing when somebody tells you what it means. It's like, yeah, is that what you're kind of going for?
Well,
Like,
yes. And
different
also, it's like if you've never experienced unconditional love before and you do, you don't know what to call that. You
Mhm.
run it through
Scary.
all of the other experiences that you had. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
and it's something that you're not used to. So
exactly.
it is scary, you know?
Mhm.
Hard.
Very true. Very,
Yeah.
very true. Wow. This has been delightful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So delightful.
We have another show scheduled in January. Like and subscribe to all of our channels because it's free. Listen to me. Like and subscribe to all of our channels. It's free. Links to all of our channels and contact information is below. So you are able to get a hold of us if you would like to do that. Karen, do you have any thoughts or last minute words before I ask JJ if she has any last minute thoughts and words before I say goodbye?
I'm just being told be gentle with yourself.
Mhm.
You know, be gentle with yourself when you're going through this, and try to have no expectations and be open to the love and light that you're going to be receiving. So,
Mhm.
Mhm. And I say to the people with the hearts out there, I mean, you all have hearts, but you know, the people who are having those heartless people, you know, if your heart kind of feels like it's out of whack, definitely, I waited a little too long to go to see a medical doctor. So that would be my advice.
I think it's really important. Well, I'm glad you went to for medical advice, by the way.
Well, I had to. I couldn't breathe. That was my spiritual 2x4.
And I'm going to say it again. I'm glad you went and sought
Yes.
medical.
I'm glad I made it. Yeah.
You know, cheers, everybody. Pay attention to your bodies, as Karen was saying.
yeah.
It's very important. I want to say, with all of this, why take a moment and really understand where you are, how you're feeling, and where you are, because it can be very confusing, and it's part of that is meant to be. Honoring where you are and recognizing that is a really important thing.
Hmm.
I mean, you can try to rush it. Good luck with that. Patience, you know, if you want patience yesterday, it'll take longer. So, and I'm going to say thank you for exploring the liminal space with us. Whatever felt untethered may now be finding its shape. Share your insights in the comments after the show. Stay grounded. Keep listening for what's emerging next on your activation path. And you know, next time the opening will be done all in interpretive dance.
Yes.
We will be doing voiceovers. We'll be checking to see who's going to voice over JJ and who's voicing over Karen and who's voicing over for Gerald.
Oh.
So, my gosh. And whatever happens, please don't lose your sense of humor. It's a magic superpower.
Mhm.
Yes.
Seriously. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.